Hello everyone, you're watching What's New LA. I'm here next to Dr. Raanan Gissin. How are you?
Okay, nice being here.
Tell me about your action in the past, people that doesn't know you yet.
Well, I was, for 10 years, I was the closest advisor to Prime Minister Ariel Sharon, his media advisor, strategic advisor, his whisperer. I served before that in the Israel Defense Forces. I was in the IDF spokesman unit. I handled the foreign press for, well, I'd say with Sharon's service with Sharon for over 25 years. Today, when I retired, I'm doing commentary on Arab television. I go around the country and do advocacy for Israel. This tour, I did a lot of work with a group called Stand With Us, which is very effective here on campuses and elsewhere, and a lot of, I would say, advocacy for Israel among the evangelical Christian community, which are great supporters of Israel, and here I am.
I'm glad you're here because I want you to explain to us from your point of view what's going on with Iran.
Okay, well, a lot is going on. Most of what is going on is not known. A lot of what is talked in the press is not going on. There's nothing there. I mean, there's just a lot of talk. There's a lot of disinformation. And you have to separate between the signal and the noise. What's the true signal, what really happens, and what's the noise? No doubt the Iranians are conducting the kind of, I would say, policy and strategy which is intended to put Iran in a major position in the Middle East, make it again, I would say, the Persian Empire, controlling the Middle East, have dominance over the Muslim community in the world, taking over from the Sunnis. That's their long-term goal. And in pursuit of that goal, they're doing a lot of things, to change the picture in the Middle East, to change the nature of the regimes, to change the world order, actually. So the Iranian threat is not just against Israel. It's against basically Western civilization. It's against everything that Western civilization has achieved in the past 200 years. And they're trying to do it through two elements, terror and the bomb, the nuclear bomb. The question is not how to stop the bomb. The question is how to stop the Iranian regime. And my take on it is that eventually, after all means have been exhausted, negotiation, sanction, everything, the ultimate solution is to change the regime in Iran. And that's a long-term project. It's a very formidable task, but it's doable. It's possible to do it if the countries of the world unite and understand that Iran presents a mortal danger to the way of life of Western countries, to the future of the Middle East. And with that kind of coalition, I believe it's possible to stop Iran, to change the behavior of the regime, or to change the regime.
I know it's a hard question, but do you think that the American government or American army can do something about it and be more assertive, and they're not doing that?
Well, there's no doubt that the American army, the American armed forces have the capability to do a lot of things in Iran, to do things from outside, to do things inside Iran, and no doubt America, should be the leader of any action in Iran, whether it's political action or military action. And the military option, as many American officials have said, and Planeta and even Obama himself, is still on the table. But in order for that option to be on the table, it has to be backed up by some credible threats. And no doubt when Israel is threatening a strike on Iran, that's useful, very useful in terms of shoring up the support of other countries to the United States vis-a-vis the sanctions against Iran. Because they say, we don't want Israel to attack, you need the sanction. So there is some positive, constructive, I would say, benefit to the fact that Israel is threatening, or according to the press, threatening that it will strike at Iran. Practically speaking, if there is a military option, I would much prefer that it will be a coordinated effort between the United States, Israel, and other allied forces. And it's not just from the air. It's not just an aerial attack. It's how to unsettle the Iranian regime. It's how to bring about its downfall. And for that, there's a lot of action that has to be done, I would say, on the table and under the table as well. I mean, there are options under the table. And recently, remember they talked about the worms, cyber worms. Cyber warfare is a new type of warfare which is taking precedent all over the world, and definitely in the continuous battle against Iran, cyber will play a very significant role. And I was asked, what do you think about the worms? I said, I don't understand about cyber worms, but I'm a farm boy, and I understand that worms operate more effectively in the dark. when they're not exposed. When you expose warm to the sunlight, they shrivel and die away. So these are the kind of actions that should be continued and done, not talked about. And I think they have an effect. They have an effect because the Iranian regime, the Iranian leadership is much more fearful of what happens inside Iran, of stirring up an opposition in Iran. They're much more, let's say, put it this way, they're much more fearful of an Arab Spring, Iranian style, than an Israeli strike. Okay? And that's what they should build on that fear. Develop the opposition, help the opposition. Not like they were abandoned 2 years ago when the election results were known in Iran. And I think there's a lot to be done here, much to be done, less to be talked about.
Who do you think you're going to be a better leader, Romney or Obama?
I don't know. Look, first of all, I have a 10-year extendable visa to this country, and I maintain that visa by not answering such questions. I'm a guest here in this country. I know a little bit about American politics because I did teach American politics here for 6 years. But it's hard to say, who would be. They're both faced with a formidable challenge in terms of trying to revive the economy, in terms of American position in the international community, in terms of trying to pull America back up, to where it was before. So it's hard to say who is going to be a better president for America. But I would say this, the American people have to make a very clear judgment. They have to make a clear judgment. Who is going to serve better in the next 4 years American national interest? Not parochial, not local. That includes the economy of the United States, first and foremost, the strategic posture of the United States, the extent to which the United States projects strength in there, because that also affects the American economy. If America is perceived strong, I told you in the Hebrew interview, people will do business with someone they appreciate, someone they take seriously, they do business with. But if America is not taken seriously and not thought to be a power that it is, then you don't do business with her. And therefore, all this depends on the kind of leadership that the president will do. Obama has made a lot of mistakes, I think, in the past few years with regard to foreign policy and national, in my view, because I think it was a learning process. He can still change. Romney comes with a much, I'd say, stronger image of someone who is ready to go with it, but doesn't have that experience. So, this is a very tough judgment to make by the American people. And they have to decide, are they going to give Obama another chance? Or they want to turn a new leaf, a new page, and say, okay, Romney, go over, take over. That's a judgment that the American people have to do. I can't make it for them.
Okay, who's going to be better for Israel, Romney or Obama?
Well, I tell you the truth, and in this respect, whoever's going to be, proved to be, after election, not when he runs and talks, but when he is president and makes decisions, will be a good president for the United States, will also be a good president for Israel. If he ain't going to be a good president for the United States, he's no good for Israel, no good for the rest of the world as well.
I like
because the interest of the United States and the interest of Israel are similar. We share the same value. And now we share the same predicament, particularly after 9/11, when we face all these formidable enemies. And the old adage said, if you don't hang together, you'll hang separately. We have to hang together. And a president that understands that, America has to hang together with its allies, particularly Israel, that is strong, resilient, and shares the same value, is a president that is probably going to do better than a president that tries to ignore that.
I appreciate this answer. It's a really good answer. Let's talk about peace. It's a huge word. It's a huge target or goal. I refer you to an article before this interview of Professor Moshe Sharon. And this article give you another opportunity to think about peace with the Arab world. Tell me what you think about, and give a summary about this article.
Well, I'll use a pun, I'll use the word peace. We want to achieve peace step by step. In other words, start with one country, then go and we believe in peace. 1.5 million children in Israel go to school, and the first word they learn, which is put on the blackboard, they learn how to spell Shalom, peace. That's it. What's on the blackboard in Palestinian schools or in Arab schools, I don't know, but it's not peace. Not peace. So we want peace, and we want to accomplish it, and we're ready to go piece by piece. Like one right after the Arabs or the Palestinian, by and large, don't view peace as an objective. They want to take us apart piece by piece. In other words, they spell peace differently. And I say it with great regret, because I think basically the Palestinians and the Arabs who've come to know Israelis, really we can get along. But it's the leadership, it's the ideology, it's Ahmadinejad, it's the radical Islamic groups like Al-Qaeda who says we want to erase Israel off the map, we want to erase the Zionist entity. And they really have a strategy of taking Israel piece by piece. Because they can't do it in one blow, they're offering all sorts of, I would say, solutions. They say tahadiyah, which means, we'll have a ceasefire. Or hudna. What is a hudna? Hudna is a long-term ceasefire. Why hudna? That like Muhammad, when he couldn't beat his enemies, declared a hudna. He said, hudna, I will not fight them until I get stronger. When I get stronger and they get weaker, I can violate the hudna and go and fight them. So what kind of peace is that? That's a temporary peace until we get stronger, And by the way, I knew Arafat. Arafat used the term all the time. And when people talked to him and said, "What are you offering Israel all these concession pieces?" And no, don't worry, he used to say, I'm offering them hudna. Hudna is not, in Arabic, hudna is not peace. Not through salam. It's not salam. It's another way of gaining some time, with time out to organize our troops and organize our forces, and then when we get stronger, we'll strike back, which was what Muhammad did. So I say, first of all, forget about the word peace. Not forget, okay, we believe in peace, but if you want to really achieve peace, first you have to achieve respect. First, you have to achieve the fact that the Arab countries and the Arab people will take you seriously. They don't need to love you. Now, we have a problem. We, the Jewish people, have a problem. We have a love deprivation going back 2,000 years. Everybody hated us. So now, when we have a state of our own, every Arab leader that hugs us, we melt, we fall apart. It's like, like a first date girl. We give in, everything. That's not the way you do business, not in love and definitely not in politics, You have to stand on what you believe in, you have to present your case, and you have to make an offer that the other side will feel he can't refuse, because he stands to gain something, or if he fails to accept it, he stands to lose a lot. Now, you don't have to make those offers all the time. You say, here's what I have, take it or leave it. Or here's my phone number. Call me when you're ready to make peace, okay? Or call me when you're ready to make a deal.
Are they even interested?
Or email me. Yeah, now they don't call, they email. Okay, go email me. But don't try to appease them and say, okay, because the more you give in, they say, they're not serious. He's not. It's all talk and he's not together. So I can put more pressure to get more. And I think it's the wrong psychological approach. That is what we've been trying to do all along. Well, it's about time that we've exhausted this possibility, and it doesn't work, that we move to another option.
We were a little bit naive in this situation.
I think so. It's not so much that we really
wrong.
We really believe in peace. I can appreciate people who really believe in peace, who say, listen, we're a peace-loving nation. Peace is part and parcel of our culture. It's almost imprinted on our DNA code, for generations. But I think the Holocaust should have reminded us, and I'm involved in some Holocaust remembrance activity with some NGOs. The Holocaust reminded us that if we don't stand up and are capable to defend ourselves by ourselves, no one else is going to defend us. But if we are capable of defending ourselves by ourselves, people will come and want to do business with us. Hey, they're serious, they're strong. People like to do business with winners, with strong people, not with weaklings.
About the article, he mentioned the state of mind of the Arab side. And explain with 2 words how is it the state of the Arab side and how we can approach them in different way that we tried till now.
The basic political culture of Islam is that this is the dominating religion in the world. All the others are subjugated to it. There is the Dar el-Islam and Dar el-Harb. Dar el-Islam is the world of Islam. Those who belong to the world of Islam, they are the best, they're okay, they're all equal. The others, Dar el-Harb, those who belong to the world of the sword, in other words, which are subjugated to Islam, they are not, they don't deserve, they're infidels. So you can lie to infidels, you can do a lot of things you can't do within the realm of Islam. That's the basic percept of the I would say the more radical Islam, not the written Islam, but I would say the practice. And it's very hard to overcome this, particularly now that you have a wave of revival of radical Islam throughout the Arab world. and throughout the Muslim world. You have Al-Qaeda, and you have the Muslim Brotherhood rising up again, and you see what's happening in Egypt. You have the Hamas and Hezbollah, another offspring of this radical Islamic movement. And the way to deal with them is to tell them, that's sort of pouring a cold bucket of water on their head. Cool off, we're ready to make a deal with you, yeah? But we're not going to give up our way of life just because you are threatening us or because you are threatening us with... and if you talk about equality, this is an equal world. And the funny thing, or the irony of it all, is Israel, which is a country where there, gives complete freedom of practice and equality to all. And it's a true democracy, is accused of being an apartheid state. The worst practice of apartheid is in Arab countries, where the Muslims are always are raised above the others, and now the others are segregated, are separated. All minorities are dealt as second-class citizens. Oh, with the benevolence, quote unquote, of Islam, but still second-class citizen. And just to remind you, that it wasn't by coincidence that for 400 years, the number one slave traders that went into Africa to take Africans were Arabs. Not the white man itself, not the Christian, but Arab were slave traders. They were the ones who take slaves and sell them to the white man. I'm giving this just as a metaphor. That doesn't mean that there's no possibility of change in the Arab world. They can change, and we have a younger generation. We have the Facebook revolution. The people in the Arab world are learning and absorbing things from the outside. But it's a struggle. It's a fight against the shackles of Islam and the freedom that is provided by the new Facebook revolution, by the values that the Western world offers. And it's not taken for granted. If you don't fight, you may lose this battle. You may lose this battle, and then darkness will descend on the Middle East. I mean, when you look at Iran and what Iran is trying to develop, for someone who has been a student of Jewish history, and particularly the recent study of the Holocaust, Iran looks like an improved model of Nazi Germany. Look at the practices they're using in testing in the streets of Damascus and Dara, where they're teaching the Syrians how to massacre their own people, like systematic massacre. And the practices of that they're using, and look at their writings and what they say. They want to erase Israel off the map. They want to change the world's map. They don't accept Western civilization as it is. And they have today the capabilities that Nazi Germany did not have before. I mean, they have the capability, almost, if not stopped, they will have the capability of a nuclear bomb before they start a war, where Nazi Germany only had this at the end of the war, developed. But definitely, it's an improved model of the Nazi Germany. It should ring the warning bells in every cabinet around the world of countries and people who want democracy.
Thank you for this answer. And it's also, you think Israel have a great leadership, for example, Benjamin Netanyahu, that can adapt this change of mind?
Well, as a student of leadership, and I did write about it a little bit in my dissertation, leadership is something that certain qualities of leadership you're born with. Certain of them have to be developed. I mean, there's a potential for leadership. But for the potential to become actually people have to have certain conditions. What I can say about Benjamin Netanyahu, that unlike any other political leaders in Israel, he has the best, most favorable environmental conditions to become a leader. He has no opposition from home. He has a broad-based government. He has succeeded up to now in moving Israel ahead in its economic endeavors, and Israel is a leading country in its economy, in its high-tech capability, in its scientific capability. So he has everything working for him. And he has the capabilities, the real capabilities to sweep people, to go after him. But he has to decide. See, I'm an avid jumper. I'm a skydiver. So I practice out. Like rookies, paratroopers, they stand at the door. They have a parachute. They know all the moves. They have everything. They have the green light, but they're afraid to leave the door. So maybe sometimes you need a kick. Someone to kick them in the back, to throw them out. And then once they're in the air, they'll do okay. I think Bibi, once he's in the air, he'll do okay. But he has to make a decision on what he goes and what is his, and then make that decision. Politicking, there's time for politicking. But there's also time for leadership. And not every day of your life as a prime minister you have to make leadership decisions. But there are junctions where you have to make. I think Netanyahu has reached those junctions, whether it's in terms of Israel's position in the world, whether it's in terms of its Israel economy, whether it's in terms of the social structure in Israel. He has to make decisions, and I think he's capable of that.
Thank you for this answer. It's a very complicated situation, and this is the reason we need you here.
Well, I'm very happy to be here every now and then. I do, when I come here, apart from speaking to the evangelical group, which are great friends of Israel, and I can't thank them more than every day of what they're doing for Israel, without looking for any reward or anything, really believing in the cause. I train young people, young leadership, how to appear in front of the camera, how to be able to win the battle of words or the battle of pictures and win back our narrative. Our narrative is a beautiful narrative. So good what it was that even the Palestinians did not care to invent a new narrative, they just stole ours. Well, we got to steal it back.
Thank you for this interview. Thank you for coming to Los Angeles.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Raanan Gissin. You're watching What's New LA, the news for Los Angeles.